Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Village of Washingtonville. Today is July 20th. It's a regular meeting of the Village Board. Really just have one announcement. I'd like to congratulate Sophia Galgano for pursuing her Girl Scout Gold Award. Gold Award was concentrated down at the Washingtonville Dog Park, where she planted some shrubs, put in some benches, as well as some agility toys for the dogs. So we will be honoring herself, a couple of retirees that the village had over the past year during COVID. No one was really allowed out. As well as Trustee Lang sometime in September. I want to do it in August, people are away. Actually, it's another announcement. I want to hold off on public hearings for certain things until September, so we don't have to answer questions later. Now, the public hearings is something that I'm going to be talking about later, about water meters, water and sewer pricing, comp plan, comprehensive plan, and so forth. So we're going to hold off on the public hearings until September. So people are back back home, kids are back in school, and we just keep moving forward. A couple of things on the agenda, new business, Aikido School of Self Defense.
I received a facility form request from Aikido School of Self-Defense asking for an extension of already approved June and July. He does classes and demos at Vern Allen Clark, and he asked for an extension through August and September on Saturdays from 8 to 12 in the morning.
In here is his certificate of
Yes.
insurance.
Correct. The village listed
Anyone make a motion to approve Aikido School of Self-Defense?
So,
Motion made by trustee.
I'll second.
Second. Trustee Sampson, roll call. Trustee Fuller?
Yes.
Trustee Sampson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Madonna?
Yes.
Trustee Cole?
Yes.
Can you please speak up?
Yes.
Sure. Nailed It Hardware, Trustee Lodato.
Corinne submitted a facility request form for Nailed It Hardware for the Flippin' Out Furniture Contest and Auction for Sunday, September 5th, from 8 to 6. There is nothing else going on that day, so there's no conflict on the calendar for Vern Allen Park.
Is that Labor Day weekend?
It is.
It is.
The event would actually start at 12. So that would be for setup and taking down
Sure.
the whole day.
Someone want to make a motion that we accept Nailed It Hardware Flippin' Out?
But you have to say it like this. Flipping out furniture contest auction. And sponsored by Nailed It Hardware, Sunday, September 5th, noon till 6. Can I say it like that?
Okay, yeah.
That's the least of walking commercial, you know that.
right here in the good old heart of Washingtonville, New York.
Very good.
And it's on my birthday.
Ooh,
Yeah.
party with a purpose.
I'm sure that's what she had in mind. When
She
she
planned it, I know.
had 365 days to choose, and she chose that one.
Party with a purpose.
Do I have a second? Roll call. Trustee Kolar.
Yes.
Trustee Sampson.
Yes!
Wow. How am I gonna top that?
Deputy Mayor Ladata. Trustee Kolar.
Yes.
That's
All
it.
right.
That's all I
Mayor Bucko.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
It'll be fun.
Moving right along.
Yeah, it's not on there, but.
Oh, it's not on there. Washingtonville Community Events. It's a,
This is a rain date.
It's a
From
rain date.
the fireworks, there was another rain date, this is the third one, we're trying. For a movie this Friday night, July 23rd, from 4 to 11 p.m. at Allen Park.
And what's the movie? Come on now.
Footloose. Oh, God, what do you want me to do?
Everybody footloose. Footloose. Okay.
hopefully it's not that version.
It'll be better.
I don't know if we need a resolution because we did have a rain date on there, but we can do it anyway. Do I have a motion to approve the rain date of Washingtonville Community Events this Friday night, July 23rd, time from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m.?
There'll be food vendors and no band.
You like that? So moved.
No band?
Oh, yeah.
No.
No, not this time.
You're doing it there.
Who seconded it?
Your first.
I'll second it.
Roll call, trustee Kolar,
Yes.
trustee Sampson.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Madado,
Yes.
trustee.
Yes.
All right, update on mandated New York State training, trustee Sampson.
All right, so right now, we are currently for the New York State Discrimination and Harassment Training at 17 people have completed. We've got 15 that haven't yet started. And for the compliance discrimination, for the workplace violence prevention, we are at 17 completed, 15 not started, so it's about the same. So I'm thinking of instituting a deadline because it is mandated by New York State of the end of August. I want you guys to agree to that. August 30th? Yeah.
How many people need to still do it?
15 for, pretty much both activities. One had a course name change from
And
New
they're-
New York
And they're
State.
completing it during their work time?
However, I did,
I mean, it's an option, but I mean,
it can be
we're allowing
completed
them
during
to do
work
it
time.
during their work.
Correct, and I sent in, I think DPW, if they needed assistance in access to a computer.
I just have 4 guys to do it, need to do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I think because it's mandated,
It has to be, yeah. So
Oh, no, I mean, I'm sure people could do it at home if they wanted
If
to.
they wanted to,
if they-
but yeah, but at work. Because there may be someone who doesn't have access to a computer at all. But we'll make one available.
But yes, I know one you can use.
Oh, I do too.
moving right along. Resolution for grant funding for water meters. I've been in contact with Delaware Engineering. They are filling out the grant, but in order, part of the grant is a resolution from the board, has to be attached to it. So let me just read the resolution on Green Innovation Grant Program applications for water meters. Whereas the Village of Washingtonville, the village, has continued to experience failure of its water meters at a higher rate each year, requiring the use of estimated bills and manual readings, which are an expense to the village. And whereas the state has announced the availability of funding of up to 75% of the cost for the acquisition and installation of an advanced metering infrastructure system for more efficient customer metering, and the monitoring of inflow and infiltration through the Green Innovation Grant Program. And whereas Delaware Engineering, DPC, has been engaged by the village for water improvement works and will prepare the consolidated funding application, also known as CFA. And whereas such grant would be significant savings for water customers. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes Delaware Engineering, DPC, to prepare a CFA grant application for a project as generally described in Exhibit 1 and confirms that the village will provide the 25% matching funds through direct expenditures. This are the smart meters. No numbers have come out as far as how much the grant would be. All right, so we really don't know how much the 25% on our end would be. I do know several years ago we had a presentation, which you remember correct, right? Beginning of the meeting it started at 35,000, and by the end of the meeting, or the next meeting, it was $500,000. So
where are we at now, in terms of how much?
we don't know how much it will be.
Is
But
there
I
an
think,
assemblyman or someone attached to this, or?
no,
No.
no. So my suggestion is that we go ahead with it. We could always not accept it if we were to be rewarded the grant and it came out to like $3 million.
Do we lose the 25%?
No, because we're not going to.
So is I gonna be paid for the whole cost up front, or we vote for this, and they would, hopefully we get a grant for 75%?
Correct.
Well, we don't have to pay for anything, we're just not allowed to pay and not water.
Yeah, that's the other part.
So,
I'll make a motion.
okay.
I'll second.
Second by roll call, trustee Kolar,
Yes.
trustee Sampson.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lodato,
Yes.
trustee Kolar.
Yes.
I will get this out to them. I believe the application deadline is the last day of July, so, but I will get this out to them first thing in the morning. All right. Anybody have anything that's not on the agenda? Trustee Kolar, I think you talked
How about the phones?
about the phones?
Okay, the phones are, we've updated the website for the Verizon plan. Now we're just trying to, we found out today that they changed our plan without our permission, but I guess whoever, 5 years ago, whenever they got that plan, that was allowed. So Christine finally changed the names off the people who weren't here anymore, got it onto Christine Shankman now, and Mayor Bucko are the two contact people. And they changed our plan now, so it's supposed to be $102 a month for 4 phones. But when I looked at the bill, it's $102, but then there's all these extra charges again. You know, if you go over a certain amount of minutes. So Christine's gonna arrange for somebody to come in. We're gonna sit down with them. We have the plan, we have the proposal from T-Mobile and what they're presenting, what they're proposing, what they're giving us. And we'll tell Verizon, can you match this? If not, we'll just cease our agreement with Verizon and we'll move over to T-Mobile.
Does it by any chance include a device for Chris for the,
See, I don't know about Verizon, but T-Mobile has 4 smartphones in the plan for $135 and unlimited phone, text, data, the whole bit.
but don't you need a tablet for what you're,
Well, he'd have to find a tablet that would go,
okay.
The data plan.
right, we'll just get the tablet and we'll get the data plan.
But usually you get it through the company.
We can add it on at any time.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know I wouldn't know what tablet he would need. I'm not gonna order a tablet unless, unless he has one that he wants us to order for him.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, public comment on agenda items. we take one at a time. Public comment on non-agenda items.
I have a couple of questions for updates from you, Joe. One is anything to do with the skate park on 8 Arm?
No updates.
What about the $8,000 from Rieger for a house, for parks and recreation?
I have not sat down with Rieger, and I'll refresh everyone's memory.
One thing I was to say before you press,
Okay.
I believe some of the new development was, infrastructure was put in, and they were building at that time when they were given 1,000,
Okay.
and they stopped because of the economy. But that doesn't exempt them from the obligation of what was there.
See, I don't know if what Sean is talking about is developers came in, I believe they gave so much money
$1,000 a house.
per house for recreation,
Yeah.
okay? And there's no agreement, to my knowledge, and actually Rieger's honest, because they did ask them regarding High Grove. That's what's in question.
Because that was the infrastructure that was in,
Yeah.
when they were building the other development there.
So did he, in lieu of that, did he give money for the concession stand, the building that's up at High Grove right now?
There was some kind of
I don't
thing
know.
going on with that. There was also something with the red
You
light
weren't here, Chris. You know,
study.
I don't know, so it's a conversation that has to be had.
They'd have to go back. High Grove was on development plans for over 20 years, so.
I remember it used to be called Bond Street Farms. if I-
Well, no, Bond Street is on the other side.
Okay.
That's up on top of it.
That's
Oh,
off
it's still further
Moffett.
up, okay. So it's a question,
The infrastructure was put in with the intent of building at that time, when that agreement was in place. That was those two. And then the other question was, they cleaned up the 2 pump stations. What did they do with the spool of wire? Was it salvaged and usable? Was it recycled?
it's at
DPW.
the DPW.
So will they get it checked for continuity and see if it's decent to use? One end of it was sealed, the other end was open.
I mean, is it any good?
Well, they could check it for continuity and see if it's, they might have to cut 20 feet off it or something, but that's expensive wire. It sat there for 8 years, 9 years.
I think a little bit more.
I have an idea when it was put there. So that's 3, and the last one was,
Yeah, they came out with a wire that,
Yeah,
it's conductive.
that works.
the pipe on Secord. When they put that in after the great flood of Washingtonville, it was stated at the meeting that it was an oversized pipe because that's all they could get, and they were going to change it. But nothing ever came of that. Now, if you go over there and you ride, the pipe's only buried about 6 inches underneath the road. Pipes are meant to be buried deeper than that. That's how they keep their strength. So if you look at it now, it's cracking along the top of the pipe. The road is, I don't know about the pipe. I haven't been on there yet to see the trolls.
So Secord pipe.
But that may be engineer needs to look at that.
I will have, if they have not already, Delaware, because they did engineer Emerson,
Yeah.
for paving and drainage. So I don't know if they ventured out to Secord at that point, but that's a question I will.
That was all supposed to be redone after, the pipe was put in too big, they knew it, it was stated. They were gonna change it to a smaller pipe, and never got done.
This is all before us.
Yeah, no, it was during the Great Flood, right after the Great Flood.
This is the pipe that's closer to Emerson.
It's on Emerson. It's where the hump in the road is, and, yes, it is closer to Emerson on
But
Secord.
it's on Secord.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
in
when you turn right,
2012
Right where the
they
brook
put that
goes
in.
down.
right where the little brook is underneath.
Yeah.
Okay.
The little brook with the,
So they
Big pipe.
couldn't get the right size pipes, so they just put one in.
well, there was so much pipes, places flooded at the time, everybody was grabbing a pipe. And that was the statement that was made at the time.
Well,
It was
I'm glad
stated
they
at a
didn't have-
meeting, there should be records that if they didn't get washed out in the flood too.
Well, I'm glad they didn't have like a 2-inch pipe, the only.
No,
that
correct.
would cause
Yeah.
more problems.
Bigger is better, but if it's too big, it's not good either.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else right now.
You let me down. All right.
I'll keep me here a minute, I'll find it.
Time's up.
Right.
Okay. Anybody else?
So the last meeting that you had was a work session, and you voted on 2 resolutions without the availability of public comment since we cannot comment there.
Okay, they were amended bonds. They weren't new bonds, they were amended.
I understand that. I would like to know what is the village's bond rating at this time?
Offhand, I don't know, so I will get that information for
Okay, great. Also, you voted to extend the public hearing for 2 different things that are on, the one that comes to mind right now is the rental registration law that you're creating. You have that slated to close at a workshop. Can that be extended to close at a public
you.
hearing
We
that?
will be doing that, yes.
Okay,
I spoke to Stephanie of Will Frank's office, and she will be coming in, I'm just looking at the calendar here, the second, or the regular meeting of August.
okay, so it won't be
So
at the,
whatever date that is, 17th?
okay, because you had it for the 5th, which was, again, that's a workshop session.
But we had it for the second.
Yes, we had it for the second. It's going to be open until the 17th.
Okay, thank you. In regards to the village website, whoever you've hired to do the document management made a file for 2021. However, all the documents that they uploaded were from 2019. So, and, I know you put these, I guess, on YouTube. Years ago, and he probably remembers, Melanie used to take notes. The village clerk took notes at meetings. From there, they went to recording them. Having had the privilege, or not so great privilege, as to attending other towns' public meetings for work, I'm noticing more and more towns are going to a court reporter, so the minutes are published in a more timely manner. I'd like to know if this board would consider that, so there's a more accurate description of what has been said at these meetings, and so the village citizens can have better access to them.
We will discuss that.
You know what the cost is?
No, I don't know what it was.
You don't have an idea of how much it would cost?
There's all different agencies that do that, and it's going to depend on the level of services you want from them.
Taking meetings to request so the citizens, the residents of this village could see them quickly. How much would that cost?
Again, because it depends. Every court reporter, these guys are usually working freelance, so they have their own hourly rate, and they all have their own turnaround rate. So you'd have to, do a little research into that.
Would you like to help us on that?
What, research that out?
You could be the manager of research of court stenographers.
I mean,
Maybe
I'll
a title
gladly
already.
email you some quotes of what they cost.
Okay.
I don't have a problem doing that for you.
Yeah,
Average is $21 an hour.
great. What's that?
The average is $21 an hour.
I think they get something per page also.
That's why I said all of them have a little bit different fee structure.
They own the title to the page, they own the page, so they do it.
So you're the manager of court reporting for village.
No, I'll just be kind enough to do the research on costs for you guys so you can make an educated decision on behalf of the people. How's that sound?
And what is it, instead of the video or in addition to it?
Yeah, in lieu of the video?
What?
In lieu of the video?
Well, I mean, this is, no offense, this is not, it can be edited. I can go onto YouTube and hack in the back end and edit this. If you have printed minutes that are done by a third party, it leaves it for less scrutiny.
I want to see you hack. I want to see your skills.
Darling, I don't kiss and tell.
I could promise you that none of these videos have been edited.
I'm sure they have it. I'm just saying that anything in Cyberland is subject to that. It's not hard to do.
Thank God for the original videotape. Right? Isn't it? It's on a video, right? Not a video. Digital tape.
Just in defense of her, it's much easier to go back and scan a page that's written than go through the video and try to, a lot of times you can't even hear what's being said. on the video.
No one has ever told me.
You guys hear the rest.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Joe,
I've
the
never
rest
had
of them, I
that
can't hear
problem.
nothing. I don't even know if
You hear
know.
me, right?
I hear
Yes.
you. Valerie, though, God bless her soul, is very soft-spoken.
I'm sorry. I'm not a yeller, not a.
I am, ask my kids and my neighbors.
We got that on tape.
I don't like confrontation.
Most views on the
Anything?
YouTube video is 20.
No, I think I'm good for right now.
Okay. All right, anybody from the board?
Let me think. I think we need to come up with a really, really good commercial for this, nailed it event.
We have, what's going on at Gurnell this weekend?
Got the movie.
The farm market,
The farm market on Sunday,
yes.
Family
Sunday.
picnic,
family picnic.
is the
11
thing.
11 to 4.
So come on down to the Village of Washingtonville, Vern
Lots
Allen
of vendors,
Park.
I saw the
Hopefully
list.
Lots of vendors.
Friday.
We'll stop
Friday's the
raining
movie.
for a
Friday's
while
the
and we
movie.
could all get together and have a good time.
And bring your family, and your picnic basket, and your blanket, and have fun.
But don't bring your dogs who doodle on the lawn.
As long as you pick them after them.
He's only saw 11 views on this thing, and who are you talking to? 11, 12, 13,
You never know, this
15.
could be my moment, okay?
Valerie, you haven't entered the contest yet.
I know, I literally wrote it down, look. Sign up for now. Said that I need another reminder. Third one,
If there's no
sorry.
discussion, motion to adjourn.
A second.
Trustee Cole, a second by Deputy Mayor. Trustee Fuller,
Yes.
trustee Sampson.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dotto,
Yes.
trustee Cole,
Let's see, yes.
motion to adjourn. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, have a good night.
Enjoy
Humidity?
the humidity.
It's not humidity, it's wildfires.